There's Jack Miller's special home race helmet with his daughter Pip's name on the back.
This is one of the last races, Matt, that I really thought the circuit layout so suited the Aprilia, and it'll be sad if they can't figure out that drive grip onto the front straight that they're suffering with, you know, so they suffer on the last sector and the speed down the main straight, because the rest of the sectors are looking great, as I guessed they would, because the Aprilia is so good through the fast corners, so good. It's like definitely a step above everything else through those fast corners, like it was at Assen, like it always is at Silverstone, and this is the same sort of fast flowing corners. So I'm really hoping Vinales or Espargaro can do something special for Aprilia, or even one of the RNF riders.
There was some cat and mouse there, wasn't there? Bezzecchi, Miller, Bastianini and Martin, they were all just at crawling pace as they waited for Bagnaia to fire himself out of pit lane. And who has slotted themselves in behind the world champion? Of course, guess who? It's Marc Marquez. There's Bagnaia and Marquez then, who have already come out of the opening 15-minute Q1 session. Filtering out behind them come Bezzecchi and Martin, title contenders on the inside of Bezzecchi, then keen to get on with this, isn't he? It's Martin at the moment. It is his pole position to lose. Pole position number 12 it would be in MotoGP, the 33rd of his Grand Prix career. That 1:27.846 may well take some beating. I'm sure Jorge wants an all-time lap record to go with his Tissot watch as well, though.
Yep, and he's... Oh, this is what I'm worried about for Pecco. Fair enough, he wants to get away from the group. The plan was to drop Marc as well, but he didn't manage to do that. But really, Pecco has to put his head down. He's got a good grid position already. He'll drop only a few, maybe, but just forget about who's behind you. Go do the job like you did in the last session, you know, on track, and get the position. You know? Don't worry about it.
Marc's been the big enemy of Ducati for so many years, hasn't he? He's been the big enemy of Pecco Bagnaia. Well, he's going to be the enemy within next year, isn't he, when he gets on that Gresini Ducati as well. This is Bagnaia then just trying to lose his pursuers. He goes into the runoff area at turn 4, and following him straight in is Marc Marquez, who is just insistent on following Bagnaia around this Phillip Island circuit.
And as you said, you can lose front tyre temperature as well if you're mucking about trying to drop other riders off. So hopefully he's got his head down now, and Marc's right behind him, and he's got his head down.
So 2.5 minutes remain then in this session. There's going to be 2 flying laps that are going to be at your disposal, as long as we don't get any late yellow flag drum, which we have seen so often in the closing stage of this decisive Q2 sessions. Bagnaia then with Marquez right on his rear tyres. They power at maximum lean angle through the second gear southern loop. Then they'll start building speed towards this awe-inspiring Stoner corner turn 3. Martin at the front of this group, and he is on course as it stands right now for a new all-time lap record. So is Bagnaia and so is Marquez. He's so eager to protect that golden run of front row starter in Phillip Island. He's never qualified off the front row here in MotoGP.
Just to explain again, Marc has said repeatedly, Stefan Bradl mentioned it as well, that if someone's right in front of you, the hole that they make in the air makes the Honda work better, and it's easier to do the lap time. So that's what he's trying to do.
Look at the first 3 sectors on this current lap for Martin. He's going to be absolutely destroying, smashing his own all-time lap record of 1:27.767. We are about to witness history here in Australia, because through the final corner, Martin comes second in the World Championship, trying to bounce back from his Mandalika crash last weekend when he was 3 seconds clear of Maverick Vinales. Over the line he comes, 1:27.246. Jorge Martin, as he was coming into this weekend, cements his place in history in Australia, the fastest man ever around Phillip Island with a sensational 1:27.246. Binder finds a 1:27.662, which is a brilliant lap time, but only good enough for second place, 4 tenths behind Martin.
4 tenths, and at this level is awesome. Normally it's 1/10, you know, or less.
Well, it looks like it will be back-to-back Phillip Island pole positions, doesn't it, for the Martinator. A 1:27.246. He's over half a second quicker than his pole time set here 12 months ago. Binder looks like he is on course then, potentially for just that third MotoGP front row start, and he deserves it because he's been superb all weekend, hasn't he? Been there with a 1:27.662.
He really has. I bet that lap time is exactly what they were aiming at. He's achieved it. Just Martin's done something phenomenal. I hope Bez can keep improving, because it keep his championship hopes alive. And I really think they are still alive. And yeah, the other, I mean, Mark's position, absolutely fantastic. But the one that's holding it together, I'm surprised about is, for Aprilia, is Aleix Espargaro. I really thought Vinales would step up, but can Vinales do something before the end of the session?
Looks like it's going to be successive 9th place starts for Marco Bezzecchi. The checkered flag is out, and it's a best of 9th then for Bez. Checkered flag has been taken by Binder. Maverick Vinales then needs a big lax at the moment. He's last in this Q2 session. 12th place Vinales, and he's looked so good all weekend, hasn't he? Top 3 he was at the end of play yesterday, Maverick Vinales.
See him go really wide there through the, it used to be called the hay shed before Lukey Heights, very wide, wider than you want to be. There's something not right for him to be so low when he looked so good yesterday. 3rd in
both sessions Vinales was yesterday. This is just not cutting it. Estimated P10 then for the Aprilia man. He power slides the RSGP. Look at the bumps there. Look at the vibe. The chat he was getting on the front there as he threw it into that final corner. That's been the Achilles heel for the Aprilias this weekend. It's been that final corner. Vinales then, he's going to at best be 9th. That's pushed Bezzecchi then back onto the 4th row. How decisive could that be for Mini VR46?
Yeah, they don't look particularly happy, and I bet if we watch him on camera when he comes in, Maverick's going to be very unhappy. It looked like the bike wouldn't turn for some reason. He was running wide all over the place, like middle of the turn, like you said, not much weight on the front, chattering, running wide. Yeah, he did not look happy. Not good.
It's another phenomenal Phillip Island pole position, though, for Jorge Martin. Look at the big head shake he had as well, coming out of that high-speed 4th gear at turn 12.
I mentioned this to you yesterday, Matt, how the track drops off right at the, as you go over the brow there, and the bike gets quite unstable.
All-time lap record, superb performance by Jorge Martin. That is his 3rd pole in the last 5 Grand Prix. A 1:27.246, a record breaker, a history maker again here in Phillip Island is the Spanish superstar.